This is a stimulus check update and daily news report, and a lot of things are happening in Washington right now, so we'll go over this article right here. Stimulus check update, 5 reasons $2,000 monthly checks are essential. We'll talk about the $3.5 trillion package. I'll play the latest video clip from President Biden addressing the package and how he wants to pass it. Meanwhile, he bombed with Manchin, and if he doesn't pass this soon, it could be bye-bye Biden, according to this article right here. I'll play the latest video clip from Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. We'll talk about the government shutdown, which is just around the corner, and then I'll answer the questions you leave for me in the comments. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend. If you appreciate these fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below, and I'm giving out $200 to my subscribers, and I'll talk more about that later on in the video. But first, 24 states threaten legal action against Biden's vaccine mandate. So in a letter, 24 Republican state attorney generals vowed to take legal action against Biden administration if the administration does not change course on its vaccine mandate. So President Biden mentioned his vaccine mandate last week, how it's going to affect 100 million people and how businesses are affected. And they're not too happy about that, at least the attorney generals in Republican states. And Arizona becomes the first state to challenge constitutionality of Biden's COVID-19 vaccine mandate. So Arizona Attorney General Mark Brnovich is suing President Biden and other administration officials over the vaccine mandate. So let me know your thoughts on this down in the comments below. What do you think about the vaccine mandate? Good idea, bad idea? What do you think about these states suing over the vaccine mandate? Let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments below. Speaking of President Biden, so Biden steps up efforts to advance $3.5 trillion spending bill. So he's trying his hardest. He has met with Joe Manchin, which bombed. So Biden bombs with Manchin. He had that meeting with Kirsten Sinema and Joe Manchin. All they said that came out of the meeting was that it was a productive meeting, and Manchin never said that he is going to be on board. So it's looking really tough for President Biden right now. Made a lot of promises. So here's a video clip of his latest speech, cut down a summary of it, talking about the spending package.
I believe we're at an inflection point in this country. One of those moments where the decisions we're about to make can literally change the trajectory of our nation for years and possibly decades to come. Each inflection point in this nation's history represents a fundamental choice. I believe that America at this moment is facing such a choice. The choice is this: are we going to continue with an economy where the overwhelming share of the benefits go to big corporations and the very wealthy? Or are we going to take this moment right now to set this country on a new path, one that invests in this nation, creates real sustained economic growth, and that benefits everyone, including working people and middle-class folks? That's something we haven't realized in this country for decades. Big corporations and the super wealthy have to start paying their fair share of taxes. It's long overdue. I'm not out to punish anyone. I'm a capitalist. If you can make $1 million or $1 billion, that's great. God bless you. All I'm asking is you pay your fair share. Pay your fair share, just like middle-class folks do. But that isn't happening now. Right now, the top 1%, for example, evade an estimated $160 billion in taxes that they owe each year. Not new taxes, taxes that they owe. My plan would help solve that. For example, it would give the IRS the resources it needs to keep up with the lawyers and accountants and the super wealthy. It would ask just for 2 pieces of information from the banks of these folks, that amounts that come into their bank accounts and what amounts go out of their bank accounts, so that the wealthy can no longer hide what they're making, and they can finally begin to pay their fair share of what they owe.
Your thoughts on what President Biden just said. If President Biden doesn't get this done, it could spell trouble. So according to this article right here, if $3.5 trillion infrastructure bill fails, it's bye-bye for an increasingly unpopular Biden. So according to this article, President Biden is having a tough time with poll numbers and saying that they're horrifying, with support among independents in the low to mid 30s and even Democrats starting to express buyer's remorse. with more than 1 in 5 in a recent Zogby poll saying they regret voting for Biden, as the Democrats regret voting for Biden. So personally, as I mentioned, I'm an independent. I vote for Democrats and Republicans and believe in both sides. I don't like to choose either side. So this information I'm giving you, I try to give it to you in the most neutral way possible. With that said, let me know your thoughts on this down in the comments below. If you're a Republican, most likely you're not for Biden, but if you voted for Biden, what are your thoughts on how he's doing so far? Good job, bad job? Let me know your thoughts on all that down in the comments below. It's not looking good for him right now. He's putting himself in a tough position. We'll see what happens over the next week. Next week is a critical week because they're trying to have the vote before September 27th. Next, let's talk about stimulus checks. So this article right here, stimulus check update. 5 reasons $2,000 monthly checks are essential. So let's go over those 5 reasons. It says right here, Delta cases have surged, which they have. They're pretty much at an all-time high since the last peak in January. And it looks like more variants are coming out right now, and they don't even know how to protect against the new variants. Second is 5.3 million fewer people on payroll. Despite the number of jobs currently available nationwide, 5.3 million fewer people are working on company payrolls than before the pandemic. So it looks like even with the unemployment ending, jobs still have not come back yet. It just ended September 6th, so hopefully we could see jobs coming back from there. Right here, number 3, 9.1 million people are now without enhanced unemployment. So as I mentioned, that ended officially September 6th. They're trying to get, AOC is trying to put forth a bill that is going to extend the unemployment, enhanced unemployment, until February 1st of 2022. So we'll see what happens with that, but there still are a lot of people without jobs. Number 4, the child tax credit is slated to end in December. So this is true. So you get with the child tax credit, whether it's $3,000 or $3,600, depending on the child's age, you're going to get half for the year of 2021 with monthly payments, and then the other half in 2022 when you pay your taxes. You get a one lump sum there. Or you don't have to pay your taxes. I think it just comes in one lump sum. So that's ending. Then we have food insecurity as part of 17 million children's lives. So they estimate that 17 million kids in the U.S. currently struggle with hunger, 6 million more than before the pandemic. Approximately 25% of children in Louisiana and 23% in Arkansas face hunger daily. So those are the 5 reasons why they think there should be a fourth $2,000 monthly stimulus check. In terms of the petition for the $2,000 per month to every American check at change.org, it is 2,886,000 signatures so far. So slowly increasing. Now, I want to keep it real with you. The fourth stimulus check is not in that $3.5 trillion package. And I've been getting a lot of comments saying that other channels have said that the checks have been approved and they're coming. That is not true. We do not have a fourth stimulus check approved. It is not the case. As I like to show you the proof and evidence and articles exactly where things are coming from. If someone is claiming that there's a fourth stimulus check coming or has been approved, make sure you see the actual proof and article of where it comes from, which is the reason why I like to give you honest information in a fact-based, fast-paced way. Next, there is another call for another fourth stimulus check. So this is another petition to Congress, provide $1,400 stimulus check to Social Security recipients. Now, this poll or this petition doesn't say how many people it has, but basically this is for senior citizens who are collecting Social Security. They're calling for a $1,400 fourth stimulus check. This had a lot of steam moving forward when it first started, but now it's kind of trickling off. We're not really seeing much news on that. Next, let's talk about Bernie Sanders. So Bernie Sanders won't accept further cuts to spending package, calls for tax increases. Here's the latest video clip from Bernie Sanders. Then I'll give you some more information after that.
I'm loath to get back into the price conversation, but I do want to make this point, and I want to play you what the president said, and I think it's clarifying to follow up on that. So I want to play what President Biden said today, and then ask you a clarifying question. Take a listen for a second.
My Republican friends are attacking my plan, saying it's big spending. Let me remind you, these are the same folks who just 4 years ago passed the Trump tax cut, totaling almost $2 trillion in tax cuts. A giant giveaway to the largest corporations in the top 1%. And listen to this, almost none of that $2 trillion tax cut was paid for. It just ballooned the federal deficit.
Okay, so here's part of the thing that has been driving me nuts about the discourse on this bill. The cost is just one part of the ledger of the bill, right? I'm not crazy here. There's a cost part, and then there's a revenue raisers part. And people only talk about the cost part. Like, there are, right, that you couldn't pass it through reconciliation if it was just going to charge it to the deficit, right? I mean, have I lost the plot here?
Well, you could. Actually, you could, but we're not going to do that. I mean, what we intend, look, the bill is still being worked on. The bill is still being worked on.
Maybe you get rid of all these tax raises that the oligarchs don't like and pass this thing and charge it and come back the next day.
All right, but what we want to do is, in fact, pay for it. If I had my druthers, I would pay for every nickel of it by demanding, as the president just said, that we end the absurdity of large corporations making billions and in a given year paying nothing in federal income taxes. Some of the wealthiest people in this country, Elon Musk, I think, Jeff Bezos, in a given year, do not pay a nickel in federal income tax. Anyone think that that is vaguely sane? It is not. So what we can do in one way or another, in a variety of ways, raise the revenue that we need to pay for this. And by the way, Chris, your point about, taking a look at what we are trying to do. The evidence is overwhelming that when you invest in childcare, when you invest in education, when you invest in children, you get that investment back many times over. And in terms of climate, what are we supposed to say? How do you deal with this issue? How much is too much when you're talking about saving the planet? How much? And if the planet goes down in 50 years, well, gee whiz, how much should we have spent or not spent? It's pretty crazy stuff. And what even every economist understands, economic output is going to decline precipitously because of climate, not to mention the huge amounts of money we spend trying to repair the damages of storms and floods. So the president, in my view, again, I said this before, deserves credit for, with no margin in the Senate, 50-50, 3-vote margin in the House. He understands, I understand, I think the majority of the American people understand, because what we are doing is enormously popular. The American Rescue Plan was popular. This is popular. The American people want us to address the crises facing working people and have the guts, finally, to stand up to the big money interests who own the United States Congress.
You named the most difficult part of this, which is that you need a unanimous vote. And unanimity is tough. You come out of some universe of old left, unanimous consensus groups, in a basement trying to get 12 people to agree on something. It's not easy.
It is very difficult. And I hope people appreciate that. I mean, if we had 60 or 70 votes, it would make life a lot easier. We got 0 votes. We got 50 votes in the Senate, and Nancy Pelosi has 3-vote margin in the House. So this is really, really tough. And there's going to be a lot of debate and discussion going on. Trust me. But at the end of the day, I think we're going to do what the American people want and pass the most consequential piece of legislation in a very long time.
What are your thoughts on what Bernie Sanders said? He's pretty consistent with his messaging, but let me know your thoughts on what he said. Next, let's talk about the government shutdown. So it's that time of year again where we're about to have a government shutdown and everything is going crazy. So Hoyer, who is the House Majority Leader, says House will vote to avoid debt default shutdown next week. So what's the difference between the debt default and the shutdown? So debt ceiling versus government shutdown, how they're different and why they matter. So Congress faces 2 massive tasks over the next month: funding the US government and increasing the debt ceiling, and trying to pass that $3.5 trillion package. They have a lot to do before October 1st. So the federal government's fiscal calendar runs from October 1st to September 30th, meaning a shutdown will occur if lawmakers don't pass a budget by the end of the month. So if they don't pass anything by September 30th, that's when we have the government shutdown. They could have stopgap measures where they say, all right, we're almost done with this, let's extend it 1 more week. And I think last year, or this past year, they did it, I think, 3 or 4 times. Congress must suspend or raise the debt ceiling before when the U.S. would default and risk missing payments to Social Security and military. So, yeah, we also have the debt ceiling saying that they need to rise it. Basically, the debt ceiling is like having a credit card and they have a capped limit at 26 trillion. They're like, hey, we need to raise our limit to 27 trillion. That's basically what the debt ceiling is. So we're going to find out over the next few days. It's probably going to be really juicy information of what happens with the debt ceiling, with the government shutdown, with the $3.5 trillion package. A lot of things going on. Here is the latest video clip from Elizabeth Warren.
Let's dig deeper and bring in Massachusetts Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren. Senator, always good to have you here. I have to start. I know you're not in the House, but we hear over and over about these deadlines as part of the infrastructure package, but they're meaningless. They all get blown through. What's the point of them, and are there any consequences?
Deadlines are important, especially for legislators. It's the way to keep them moving forward. Look, when decisions are hard and you've got a whole lot of people who have an interest in it, the easiest answer is always, let's go back and think about that some more. And we can do that until the clock runs out. We need to get this done. We need to get this infrastructure package done, the whole thing. I'm glad you show it always as the 2 parts. And we need to get it done, frankly, because we need to get on to the voting bill. So we have a big agenda here. And keeping everyone lashed down, do your work, get it done, make your agreements, fish or cut bait, I think is exactly the right thing. And I cheer the Speaker and Leader Schumer, who are trying to keep us moving forward and on a deadline.
Next, I'm going to answer the questions you leave for me in the comments. Maureen Simmons asks, helping the unemployed students and families is all good, but what about seniors? We need help too. So when it comes to seniors, there has been a little more activity lately. They're calling for a fourth $1,400 check just for seniors on Social Security, as well as $1,000 vouchers for Medicare benefits. So that's what's going on in terms of seniors. Those aren't approved, those aren't definite yet, but those are proposals, and there is some momentum behind that. Next, when it comes, Mary Bullinger, if the president has the power to forgive $10,000 in student loan debt, why wouldn't he have the power to forgive $50,000? So the big question is, does he have the power? I think President Biden says it has to go through Congress. Meanwhile, Elizabeth Warren and other Democrats are saying that he could do it through executive order. So I think the miscommunication is, does he have the power? He said that he wouldn't do $50,000 in the past. Shalisa Ballard says, I don't like how the IRS can access everyone's financial records. What if you're trying to save money to pay for expensive bills, like business, landlords, if you're trying to save money for school? Yeah, I agree. I don't think anybody likes the idea that the government, the IRS, could access everyone's bank account above $600, which is pretty much everybody, and see how much money's coming in or out, where money's coming from. Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea either. Anyways, that is all the stimulus news I have for you today. To hopefully brighten your day a bit, here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Oh, hi guys, I didn't see you there. Hi guys, this is Bella, this is the tip of the day. What you should always do, think of something positive in your mind and stay creative. Because if you don't do those 2 things, you'll not be like more creative and stuff, because you need to exercise your mind to be creative and stuff. Like, I found this, now I'm doing it. You need to find something creative in your mind that you can You need to find something creative in your mind that you can do.
Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate all of your support. I am giving out $200 checks to my subscribers. I'll have more details on that down in the description below. Also, I just launched my 4th YouTube channel yesterday called Wise Buys, where I give product reviews. If you want to check it out, I would appreciate some love, some support, some subscribes. Just trying to do this, getting like different products around the house, doing reviews on it, and then having an Amazon affiliate link below the videos. So if anyone wants to purchase that, product, then I get like a small commission. And anyone could do that. So if you have any products around your house, any items in general that's sold on Amazon, you could become a part of the Amazon affiliate program, have your own links for everything. So anytime someone purchases something off of Amazon, you get a small commission. So that's kind of the business I'm going to try to work with now with Wise Buys. Anyways, if you want to check out any of my other videos, you could click up here for my other channels or down here for more stimulus updates, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.